Hello, how do you do, everyone? And welcome to the NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 10th of May, 2021. It's Gary Gillen here, and I'm your host for this week's edition again. And I'm delighted to be joining you on a week when we get to look forward to two fantastic things surrounding the Rangers world. The first one is that we have two games in this week. And the second, of course, is on that second game. It is Trophy Day, where we receive the Premiership trophy for the first time in 10 years, and it's going to be an absolutely glorious day. The day has finally arrived after well over 2 months since we won the title. 2 months, and we finally get our hands on that Holy Grail for the first time since 2012. When the whole world basically collapsed around our club, that you'll remember with a shudder. What a journey we've all been on together, and at long last, Steven Gerrard, James Tavernier and the whole squad get to lift that trophy aloft and celebrate big style. I cannot wait until Saturday, and I'm sure you're the same. Unfortunately, here in Alberta, we're just at the beginning of another pandemic lockdown, and we won't get to go to the Palomino to celebrate it as we were planning to do. We had a bit of a patio party sorted out for the afternoon with over 20 people planning to come, but unfortunately this season's been a bit of a bust in terms of any socialising get-togethers, and we just have to look forward and hope that July and August and the start of the new season we'll be back to a wee bit more of a semblance of normalcy here on our little part of the globe. And I think I said something like that this time last year as well, but this time last year we didn't know what we know now, and of course this time last year we didn't have the vaccines as well, and we do have the vaccines now, so hopefully they will take a hold of the world for actual real this time, and we'll get a chance to move on as well. One other very positive thing that happened just before we started recording, right now it's just after 5:30 p.m. on Monday afternoon/evening, is that my dairy milks, my Rangers dairy milks, arrived in the post today. So I had a wee bit of one before this. So if I'm a wee bit hyper, it's probably just a bit of a sugar rush that I'm on right now. But great to have them in my possession now. And I dare say after Trophy Day on Sunday, if I have any sort of hangover, it must be to do with the dairy milk, maybe just a wee bit too much sugar or something like that. Let's go with that anyway. So no games to review from last week because of the stupid Scottish Cup exit a couple of weeks back. So for the last time in the 55 season, we get to look forward to 2 league games. Then that's a wrap on the season. The first game is this coming Wednesday away to Livingston at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please take a note of the time difference. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff back home, so 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Livy away game. And the last time we were away to Livingston wasn't too long ago. It was on the 3rd of March, and it was another midweek game, and we won that match late in the game from a goal from Alfredo Morelos that basically set us up for 55, because the game after that was a Cimarron game on the weekend, and that was the game that turned out to be the points that we needed to get the trophy back to Ibrox. And I'll personally remember that last game for getting a call with about 15 minutes to go in the game from Leo, my son's school, to say that he fell and cut his head. So I had to jet right away and pick him up and go and get him to a clinic and get him stitched up, and thankfully he's fine, he's doing okay, and we did get to watch the last 15 minutes together when we got home, but fortunately the phone was blowing up around about the 87th minute to say yes, here we go, and we managed to get that result, as I say. And one thing that's decent, I guess, about the lockdown that I just kind of talked about there for Alberta is that he will be schooling at home for the next 2 weeks, so hopefully the chances of a repeat injury this coming Wednesday for the game is vastly reduced as he just gets himself schooling from the comforts of home. The second and final game on Trophy Day is at home to Aberdeen on Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, another early one for us for some bizarro silly reason. I don't know why they would want to make it that time on the final day of the season, but anyway, the whole point of that day is that we get our hands on the trophy, hopefully after 2 positive results as well. The last time we were at home to Aberdeen was back on the 22nd of November, and we ran out very comfortable 4-0 winners thanks to goals from Ryan Kent, Kamara Roof, Scott Arfield and James Tavernier. So either a repeat of both scores would do just fine, and of course if we do get 2 victories, that'll take us to 102 points for the season, and we will end the season as invincibles, which would be an incredible achievement and one befitting of the way the club has been playing, the way the team has been playing this season in the league anyway. So depending on the results midweek will determine whether Aberdeen still have 3rd place to play for or not, which may reflect on the weekend game. I'm always about trying to make the games as competitive as possible. I hate meaningless games. I'm sure most of you do too. So hopefully we have them coming there to, with a chance of 3rd place to really play and give us a proper game. So that keeps us on point to do what we do and see what happens from there. And with Hibs now in the Scottish Cup final, if they win, I assume they have a Europa League place already secured, and that may have an impact. But either way, I really don't care about Hibs or Livingston or Aberdeen. So we just show up, we do what we do, and we win both games. It's as simple as that. So hopefully that continues into this week. For the second last time this season, points per game, no change from last week. We have 2.67 points per game, and that mob has 2.03 points per game. And I was speaking with my brother-in-law Andy, who does all of our NARSA social media stuff, and last night he says, what would make this part of the podcast a wee bit more interesting? Tell us what that mob ended up with on a points per game basis last season when they were begging everyone to get the season completely shut down so they could get their 8.75 in a row title. And so I did a wee bit of calculations, and it was a bit of a wah moment, because they actually had 2.67 points per game after the season was declared unfit to continue from last time. So they were having a successful season points wise. So I mean that's something I guess they can maybe hang their hat on a wee bit. As discussed last week from an RTV perspective, we now have everything we need. We got the confirmation from RTV late last week in terms of games taken from an opt-in and opt-out perspective, and each NARSA club received their email on the weekend with the games breakdown and the payment details. And as I mentioned before, we do need these monies in as quickly as possible so that we can get RTV paid and wrap up the admin side of this season as quickly as we possibly can, and ideally we do that before the AGM on the 5th of June so the new NARSA Executive can start off with a clean slate. That's the plan anyway. We have had some folks coming back with clarification questions, which is fairly normal, and if I haven't gotten back to you yet, then please just be patient for another day or so and we'll definitely get back to you. I know when it comes to money, people get a little bit nervous that things aren't going to go their way, or that they have maybe been misunderstood in some way. No problem at all. We'll get to the bottom of any discrepancies and we will make sure that you're only paying for what you should be paying for. Don't worry about that, please. Regular weekly plug for the RTV vouchers, and I'm sincerely hoping that this is the last time we have to do that, and that next season we'll all be back to normal and the premises will be open and everyone doesn't have to worry about vouchers anymore. If you want or need any information on vouchers, please by all means reach out to your president or secretary and they will contact me directly and we will get you sorted for the Livingston and or Aberdeen games as well. From a shout-outs perspective for this week, as if you haven't heard enough about him already on this week's podcast, I have a very special shout-out for my beautiful baby boy, Leo, who is celebrating his 12th birthday today. He's my absolute best pal, and I'm absolutely blessed to have him. So happy birthday, my love. And I hope you had a great day and enjoyed all of the gifts that you got. From a convention update perspective, and I sincerely hope that this is good news to everyone, I am very happy to tell you that we are almost there with getting the tickets on sale. We now have the price locked which I'll tell you about in just a wee second here, and are just in the throes of setting up the system side of things. Then we'll conduct some testing to make sure that everything works and everything flows the way that it should flow. Then, as I mentioned before, they will be on sale to NARSA clubs first, then a general public sale as well. Obviously, my initial prediction of mid-April was, as it turns out, complete and utter junk, but we are now literally days away from getting them out there. If I was to make a wee bit of a prediction, I would imagine we will probably be able to have the general public sale starting, I think, maybe a week today. Once we get the testing done internally, once we get the NARSA clubs access to what they need to get access to, we'll let the weekend go, of course, with the celebrations that we're all going to have, and then as of Monday we can get on with the business of getting them out there as well. So please stay tuned. Now on to the pricing itself. The prices are always in the currency of the country that's hosting the event, so therefore this is obviously going to be in US dollars for next year, and the ticket prices will be subject to booking fees, which are typical with booking events online, and the booking fees are going to be a total of $6.95 this year, and that goes to a split between the ticketing company. The company we've selected is called Ticket Tailor, and the payment processing company, and it's a company called Stripe as well. So they take their share just to make sure that they can provide you with the electronic support, the electronic tickets, of course, and the flexibility that comes with that. None of that goes to NARSA. And all of this to say that we have locked in on a base price of the tickets of $170 US plus the $6.95 booking fee, so a total of $176.95 US dollars. So what this equates roughly to, just as a quick Google search before I came on the pod tonight, is about $215 Canadian and about $126 Great British pounds, I should say, as well. I didn't do any of the calculations for our ORSA friends, my apologies, but 215 Canadian, £126 as well. So this is a wee bit of a hike from previous years, and obviously is a bigger hike for our Canadian Blue Noses due to the US dollar and Canadian dollar exchange rate. What I can tell you is that the increase in ticket prices was not taken lightly, and it certainly caused healthy debate within the NARSA Executive Committee last week when we were discussing it. But in order to ensure the event doesn't run at a loss, we have to be true to the price point that we have, and we are at the price point that we need to be at. Now, what you get for that price, though, is 3 nights of world-class Rangers entertainment with your Rangers brothers and sisters in a world-class event space in the party capital of the world, with reduced drinks prices, Rangers legends mingling with us, a DJ and live entertainment each of the nights, a banquet meal befitting such an event, and all the other fun and hilarity that goes with that. So a little bit of a sales job there, yes, of course, but and I do appreciate that an increase in pricing doesn't sit well with everyone, but hopefully when you break it down to what you're actually getting for your money on each of the 3 nights, you'll agree that it's cheap at half the price. So please stay tuned and bear with us for the next few days, and then we'll definitely, most certainly, be on our way, Bears, I promise you that. On the hotel rooms, we still have to go back and organise our third, I believe it is, addendum to the original contract blocks that we had, since we've blown our original 2 increases, and such has been the demand for hotel rooms. So we'll get the work on the tickets all locked and loaded for this week, and then we'll turn our attentions back to the rooms and get those sorted as well. So thanks to the folks that have been waiting on that, for your patience and understanding, and the multiple messages that I get on a daily basis about that, but that's certainly next on the list once we get the tickets out there. And just another plug again from a convention perspective, that we do have a frequently asked questions document that we have discussed for the last couple of weeks now. It's up on the website and has also been communicated through our various social media channels. We will update that once we have the tickets on sale, with a wee bit more of a breakdown in terms of what you're getting for your money as well, and the process to follow. But you'll be able to get the tickets from the NARSA website directly. There will be the web page will be there. The link will say let's go, and then you will go and book the number of tickets that you need to book, and then you'll get the tickets emailed to you instantly thereafter. So we're getting there. We truly are getting there. And we did I did some cursory testing today, and it seems to work very slick. So our next process will be to get some other folks from around the world just to help us with some testing, make sure it works all over the place with different types and styles of credit cards and things like that. And then we know that it's a robust process, and then we move on. So very exciting. And I'd like to say thanks to everybody for their patience, but I don't think anyone has been patient with this particular one, and I can understand why. You want to get it locked and you want to have those tickets in your virtual hands, so I completely appreciate that, and we'll do the best we can to get all that organised for this week. From a communications perspective, some things I wanted to mention for this week. Firstly, we did manage to get our Player of the Year and RTV surveys out last week, as we had been discussing over the last wee while. The Player of the Year survey is open until after the Livingston game this week, and the reason for the timing is so that we can announce the winner and hopefully get word to the player prior to the end of the season and have his charity selected and communicated out before they head out on holiday. I would imagine they would be heading out fairly quickly after the weekend celebrations. Thus far, we only have 6 responses, unless anything's come in this afternoon. I will say that. The last I checked, it was around about lunchtime today. But we only had 6 responses from 35 clubs, which isn't the numbers that we were hoping for in terms of NARSA-wide representation. So please do go onto your members, collate your democratic Player of the Year for your club and get it into us. You can text it to me if you feel like, if you don't want to fill out the Survey Monkey. You can email it to me. You can get it to us however you can get it to us, but please do get it to us. It's an opportunity for us to represent who we are thinking about. And just as a bit of a sneak peek, if this influences you in any way, the forerunner right now is Alan McGregor. He has 4 of the 6 votes that we have. So if that's not your guy, then please, by all means, make it so that you get your vote in. The RTV survey goes until Monday, May the 17th, a week today. And I'm very delighted, I have to say, with the response of that thus far. So please keep the responses coming so that we can provide meaningful feedback and data to our partners over at Rangers TV and give them some food for thought on maybe some improvements or validation that what they're doing right now is working, whatever the notion takes you to provide in terms of feedback. But, in terms of data, this is really essentially what we're trying to collect and collate. Now, it's an area that I would love NARSA to focus on in the future, and because ultimately without meaningful and accurate data on our organisation, on our conventions, on our operations, we're kind of flying somewhat blind, truly. And so I hope to be able to influence the new NARSA Executive when they're elected on June the 5th to pay particular attention to this area going forward and get some membership information, really catalogue past convention information and things like that, so that we have a real genuine handle on who we are, where we are, what we're doing. And that could be a bit of a selling point for potential sponsors and things like that in the future. So more to follow on that. But please if you haven't responded to the RTV survey, please do so. And if you haven't, of course, for the Player of the Year survey, that one's a wee bit more timely. Please do so by end of game, or let's say end of day Wednesday. My apologies. Secondly, just a reminder again for this week's Rangers Charity Foundation Champions Challenge this week. And man, oh man, it's come quick on us. If you can get involved, please do so. All you have to do is 5.5 kilometres of something. Walking, running, jogging, hopping, biking, hiking, skating, skateboarding, whatever it is you want to do, just do 5.5 kilometres of it over the course of the weekend. And if you can't yourself get involved in it this year but still want to support the foundation, please do get in touch with me and we can work out how to make sure that we get your donation to them. And I can be reached, of course, at rangersscc@hotmail.com. That's 2 S's and 2 C's. And I personally will be doing a 5.5k run this Friday afternoon and hope that we can maybe get some other people in around the NARSA community and our friends community as well, of course, to post their events through social media and let the foundation know that we're still thinking about them and still supporting them from our continent as well. From a trophy presentation day celebration type thing, our friend rossadair from the Heart and Hand Rangers podcast is arranging a title day podcast this coming Saturday and is hoping to get in touch with other expat Blue Noses to share their experiences of the day and collate their stories from around the globe in the hours after we lift the trophy. Ross is actually going to be visiting the Orange County Rangers Supporters Club down in California, and we'll be chatting with Brian Campbell, our NARSA VP of course, and then plans to check in with several other Bears near and far. The interviews, which can be done either via Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, voice notes, whatever would suit you, are only going to take a couple of minutes. It's nothing onerous for anyone, and it's just a bit of a casual blather on where you are, what you're doing, how you're doing that, and whom you're with when you're celebrating 55, and you can get in touch with Ross. You can do that individually, you could do it as a collective with a few like-minded friends or family, and do that. The recorded clips will be kind of mashed together as a compilation for a fun show for us to play back and reminisce. So yeah, let's try and commemorate this historic season and do something like that. The Heart and Hand boys, of course, produce quality content all day, every day, and it would be great to support Ross in doing this. If you would like to get involved, you can direct message Ross on Twitter, and he can be found at adair, @adairsay, ADAIRSAY, or you can email him directly at rossadair@att.net for more details. I'll put his Twitter handle and his email in the accompanying blurb from today's pod as well. It's a great wee thing he's going to do, and I'll definitely get involved in that if I can. And also, last week, from a Rangers perspective, you might have seen Rangers outline their plans for the new Edmiston House Museum in an article where they were describing the plans and process for building a world-class museum experience within the building of New Edmiston House. And a key part of the article is that they're looking for a number of artefacts, historical artefacts, that would help them build up the memorabilia that's intended to be on display in the museum. So if you forgive me, I'm just going to read them out. Rangers match-worn or player-issued shirts from throughout our history. 1970s and before are especially sought after, also from domestic and European finals, league wins, legendary players and famous games. Material related to our formation, early years and the start of the organised Scottish League. Material related to our previous grounds. Material related to our first treble in 1949 and war era items, shirts, tickets, match balls, fan material, etc. Material related to the great 1950s and 1960s team, including the 1964 treble winners. Again, shirts, tickets, match balls, fan material. European Cup Winners' Cup 1972, shirts, tickets, match balls, fan material. Jock Wallace related material, and the 1976 and 1978 trebles materials as well, 9 in a row material, and any Ibrox event material from concerts, gigs, boxing matches, sports, investitures, royal visits, etc. Basically anything you think would be worthy or something that would be interesting for another Rangers fan to take a peek at as they stroll through the museum when it's built and opened would be great. So if you have anything on that list, please get in touch with Rangers. They do have a specific email address, which I'll put the article link to that, and the email address is in the actual article itself. But if you have anything that's just gathering dust and you're not quite sure what to do with it, Rangers would absolutely love to hear from you and get that information in the hands of the folks over at the museum. And I'm going to give you a wee bit of a teaser here. One wee thing that you'll see as the week progresses will be some club communication around something very, very special that's going to be happening that the club and some fans groups, including NARSA around the world, have been organising this past wee while. It's a worldwide first. It's going to be happening next weekend on Trophy Presentation Weekend, and I promise you it will be well worth the wait. I am being purposefully secretive on this, and I will definitely talk about it more on our podcast next week once the actual event has happened. But please keep your eyes peeled and your ears peeled for this, as it is one not to be missed, and I guarantee you that. So please stay tuned and keep everything open to this one. This is going to blow your mind. And lastly, from a communications front this week, just another reminder from the club perspective about season ticket renewals. The renewal deadline is 1 week from today, is May the 17th. So if you are intending on renewing, please don't forget about the date and lose out on your seat. The waiting list is growing by the day, as I understand it, so there will be no shortage of blue noses to come in and take your slot if you miss out. The club are expecting sales numbers similar to last season, which was a 46,000 plus sellout. So I mean, obviously that's incredible, and it's such a lifeblood of funds and into key areas of the club that you do your bit if you're intending to do so, and please don't let the celebrations of this weekend get in the way and make it that you actually forget and then lose out and are on a mad panic scramble. And there's been plenty of notice for that as well. So this week, again, like last couple of weeks, been very, very busy with the convention stuff and Rangers TV stuff and things like that. So we haven't managed to secure any interviews, and I suspect it's probably going to be the same for this week, so it might be close season that we start to get some interviews done, and I know that we do have some lined up with people from within the club as well post-season, so looking forward to that. If we manage to get some time, I'll definitely do it, but the other stuff is taking precedent for right now. And just a quick reminder once again that we do have the following positions up for sale. I was going to say we don't. No. There's none of that corruption within NARSA. They are up for grabs at our June the 5th AGM, and the first one is the president. Wow, up for sale. The first one is the president, and again that can only be filled by someone from the existing current executive. So we'll see who puts their name forward for that between now and the AGM and or at the AGM itself. Treasurer, Northwest Regional Director, Northeast Regional Director and Southeast Regional Director. And again, we will be accepting nominations. You need the nominations with a seconder for the open positions up to and including the AGM. If you are interested, please don't hesitate to get in touch directly with me and I can walk and talk you through it. But everything you need to make any informed decision is on the website that I've mentioned. And if there's any questions out with that, by all means, please do get in touch. And as I mentioned, I think I mentioned last week, or certainly I meant to mention last week, that I'm going to record a pod this week explaining the constitutional changes that we have tabled, because I put them together, and they will be tabled at the AGM. And I just want each NARSA club to be as informed and prepared as you can be for the meeting itself. And on that note, actually, I guess, please consider this another plug to attend the meetings. Our winter meetings, the general meetings that we have, are typically poorly attended, and the general meetings themselves are usually well attended, but that's because we're all together. And we're not going to be together, we're going to be remote, but we do need everybody to attend. We're going to be voting on some significant things, and obviously it's election year as well. All NARSA club members are welcome to attend as well, and this year we are going to try it on Zoom so that we can see everyone's beautiful faces as well and work through all the particulars of the admin side. Significant meeting, please make every effort to attend. It shouldn't take too long, and hopefully it'll be worth your time. Folks, that's it. On Leo's birthday, I will leave off by saying once again, thank you very much to everyone for taking the time to listen, and please do share it with whomever you think might enjoy it. And until next week, enjoy the most deserved party that you will ever attend this coming Saturday. Please be safe and stick to social distancing guidelines and all that sort of fun stuff that's going to be a main focal point of the media for this week. Enjoy it. We will talk again on Monday. Take care, folks. All the very best. Cheerio.